Hey there, everybody. Hi, welcome. I'm Lisa Rose. I'm a love, dating, and intimacy coach, and I'm the founder of Deeper Love, Better Sex. I work with men, women, and couples who are just sick of the chaos and the confusion that used to be their love life, and they're ready to experience love and relationship that is fun, fabulous, and fulfilling. So today I wanted to share a personal story with you because I think it really highlights some of the parallels between our day-to-day living and all of the ways that there are metaphors in everything. I was driving down to Santa Cruz about a week or so ago, going on a little road trip. And most of you are probably familiar with the GPS system called Waze, W-A-Z-E. If you don't know it, you definitely want to get it. It's an app. It's the most accurate and reliable GPS system that I've ever used. It's very smart and it doesn't play tricks on you like some of the other ones sometimes do. So I was going to a part of town that I wasn't that familiar with. I know the county a bit, but there was this pocket of town that I don't really know. So I was definitely relying on Waze to help me find it. And what was interesting to me to observe was my own internal responses when this piece of equipment that I had already decided I trust and that I know that it has a bigger perspective, right? The way that a GPS works is I'm pretty sure it's satellite. It has a really big perspective on things. So I had already given over to decide I'm going to be relying on this to help me find my way. And it was leading me in this way that didn't really make sense to me. And I noticed my internal dialogue was to really question it and to sort of say, why are you telling me that? Are you sure that's the way? Is that really the best way to go? And to basically argue with it. And then a couple of times there was something where I didn't believe that it was telling me the truth. And I actually got kind of nasty with it because I felt like it was playing a trick on me or maybe just not getting information accurately. And I was going to be, driving up this mountain road, maybe even the exact opposite direction of how I wanted to be going. And what was so striking to me about that is I just thought it was such a great metaphor for we want to trust, we want to give ourselves over, and then we want to relax and trust that the information and the direction and the wisdom that is coming through to us is actually accurate and trustable. But alongside that, there's often this argument with it, right? There's this place that can't quite surrender to that. And that's what was happening for me. It was like this tension and this friction between, okay, I trust Waze. Waze has done well for me before. I have some history with Waze. Mostly is on my side and works. But there's this other part of me, and I noticed it especially that would come up in territory where I wasn't as familiar, so I was kind of in this free fall, I thought maybe it was left, but it was telling me go straight. I didn't quite have my bearings. So I really had to rely on Waze knowing the territory in a way that was bigger than my scope. And how does this relate to finding love, right? Well, a lot of the clients that I work with, especially the single ones, they'll say to me things like, Lisa, how am I going to find my man? And I'm sick of the online thing, and I just want him to show up at my door. And where am I going to find him? And how is he going to find me? And underneath that, there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of kind of confusion and wondering and not really trusting that the man that is their right partner, just like the man that was my right partner, already exists. He's not this phantom that just one day is going to appear on the planet. He already exists, unless you're planning on dating a kindergartner, which I don't think most of you are, right? So the point is to just relax and trust not only that this person exists, but that when we relax and we open up our channels for wisdom and guidance and intuition, that we are really kind of magically led to the exact places, the kinds of places where this partner would likely be, And it's not necessarily rational, which is why I really work with my clients to help them develop their intuition. Because developing my intuition and really trusting it and partnering with it has been such a big part of what has helped me in love, in business, pretty much in every area of my life. Because otherwise it's kind of like grasping at strings. You know, I might have this idea and I could do this, but the intuition feels qualitatively different. It feels like a deeper sense of knowing. And so my clients will sometimes say to me something like, you know, it didn't really make sense. I was invited to this mixer. Usually I don't like these kind of events, or I was invited somewhere and I just had this feeling of going. I just had this feeling it was the right thing to do. Something that we feel in our body, it's visceral, it's just like a sense, it's a felt sense. The more you use it, the more it becomes trustable and recognizable. And then, you know, on our next session, they'll report back to me, and there was this man, and we just got into this great conversation, and it felt really natural, and it felt really comfortable, and he asked for my phone number. And then when they look back and they trace back the steps, they can see the correlation. Oh, so it wasn't actually about the mixer. It was about some part that has a bigger perspective on things, actually guiding me and ushering me in that direction, right? So I hope this parallel is clear to you, because I was noticing just the part of me that really wants to surrender and relax and open, and the other part of me that wants to argue. And it's like, oh, I don't think that's the right way. Why should I go that way, right? And ultimately, it's about a choice that we make. It's a moment by moment choice, but it's also a bigger picture choice of, do we want to be in concert with this part of ourselves? And if so, how can we develop that? And how can we really make use of that, right? So here's a little suggestion for you. If you don't have Waze, you can download it to your phone. I highly recommend it. And if you do, and if you are using it, just do this little experiment. So next couple times that you use it, just see if you can observe what it feels like in your body to be following directions. And with Waze in particular, you can know that it really does have a pretty big scope of information. I don't know exactly how the GPS system works, but I know that it tells me things that maps don't tell me, which is one of the reasons I use it. And see if you can just feel like, just decide, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to make a decision. I'm going to follow whatever it tells me, and get used to feeling what that feels like, to not have to be in charge of the directions. And then if you arrive where you're intending to arrive, which chances are you will, see if you could really take a moment and savor that sense of relief, that sense of that it worked out, that sense that you didn't end up in some dark cave off the beaten path somewhere, right? Because the other part of trusting our intuition is recognizing when it really works for us, and that's part of what gives it credibility, right? So that's kind of part A of the experiment, and then you can start to widen that and branch out into just noticing, when do you feel a signal to go somewhere, or to maybe do something that you hadn't necessarily planned or anticipated, but get a feel for what that feels like in your being, in your body, and what starts to happen as you put aside some of your just rational knowing and pay attention to just feeling and then following that, okay? So I hope you have fun with this experiment. I'd love to know how it goes. You can follow me, Lisa, at deeperlovebettersex.com. That's my email. You can follow me on Facebook. My website is www.deeperlovebettersex.com, and you can be in touch with me there. And I hope you have fun with this, because it's a great way to, in a little microcosmic way, explore the benefits of listening, being led, following, and trusting. So I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.